Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Bahrain Now. I'm your host, Bara Abdallah, and this season is filled with the latest topics and trends happening in the country, which you don't want to miss. So stay tuned. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now to another exciting segment as we have here Bahrain Foodie was established in 2019 as a resourceful blog for all types of food in Bahrain with the purpose to help restaurant goers to decide what is worth spending their money on and also to provide useful insight to restaurants on what to do and what can be improved. So, ladies and gentlemen, with us here tonight is the founder of Bahrain Foodie, Donna Maria. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
It's a blessing, to be honest. I still remember, your catchphrase, hello, hello, Bahrain Foodie's here.
Yes, yes.
It's like ringing everywhere. So, Bahrain Foodie, what inspired you?
So basically, I started 2 years ago, and it was because I wanted to provide something new to Bahrain. I wanted to do food critic instead of all the food ads we see out there. So I decided I want to start something that is very authentic, that gives the audience true and real expectations before they go spend their money and spend their time on something.
Okay, so now, besides being a food critique, what do you do on the side?
So basically, I'm a teacher.
Oh, what
Yes.
subject?
I teach English language.
Wow.
I've been teaching in Bahrain for almost 10 years now.
Wow.
And I teach in an amazing school where they have a full integration of special needs. I'm also their college counselor, and I do have a small translation company as well.
Wow, you're pretty busy getting, interactivity going on, and plus you are a very well-renowned food blogger on the
Thank
side
you.
as well. So I actually followed you on Instagram when you started, I guess, was on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And now you went to TikTok.
Yes.
So is it different between Instagram and TikTok, like the reception of people, the interactivity? What do you think differed?
I think the algorithm is different on TikTok. You
Right.
get more exposure. So just like some videos, they just hit and you reach to more audience than Instagram. So yeah, I remember one day I posted a video, went to sleep, woke up, and it was like 1,700,000 views.
Yes, that happens on
And
TikTok.
I was so overwhelmed. Even I was actually reviewing mansaf, the Jordanian dish.
Wow.
And the guy contacted me. He said, my parents back in Jordan sent this to me on WhatsApp. So basically, people were sharing it in their WhatsApp groups. So yeah, TikTok is an amazing platform. I advise everyone from restaurants to bloggers to anyone who creates content to go on it.
Right. So now with you shifting platforms or sharing on both platforms, have you noticed that now people are watching you, they're listening to you and everything, but have you noticed that, I think I have more influence than I thought I had, like more power, I can change people's mind. Did you reach to that point? Did you feel like you actually reached to that influential, I would say, effect?
To be honest, I'm very humbled with all the responses that I get from people, and I still don't get that feeling yet.
Okay.
I try to be, authentic to myself, authentic to the people, and I always try in my reviews or critiques to be very objective. And I don't look at it as, oh, I'm gonna influence those people to go and do this, or to go and buy this, or not to buy this. I just want to put it out there for whoever wants to see it, and so they can make up their own mind whether they want to purchase this thing or not.
Wow. Well, you influenced me, that's for sure, definitely. and I love the way, the catchphrase, hello, hello, Bahrain Foodie. I'm like, here we go. Start the show.
It started by coincidence. Just one day I was like, hello, hello.
Yeah.
And people started commenting down there like, hello, hello, where is your hello, hello? So I just started saying it.
Can we get one right now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Hello, hello, معكم Bahrain Foodie.
There you go. That's a catchphrase right
It's
there.
amazing, and I love it when they send me videos of kids saying
Right.
it. It's phenomenal.
It's beautiful, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
So how do you rate restaurants and dishes? Like, it's like, do you have like a checklist? Okay, it has to meet this kind of criteria, standards, or is it like you just go spontaneously?
Okay, so one thing I just want to make it clear that a food critic is actually a food writer. So when you are writing about food, you simply describe it. You use adjectives to describe the flavor, the texture, the presentation, and so on. So this is exactly what I do. I would never say like, oh, this is so amazing, like I'm gonna die. And I would never say like, oh, this is horrendous, like I can't anymore. So basically I would just say, I would describe if it's dry or moist or light or heavy or sweet or sour or bitter. I just use these adjectives. Yeah.
Okay, wow, very articulated.
Exactly, yeah.
You are an English teacher, after all. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So let's see what's happening here. A beautiful creation of yours, I assume here. Tell us more about that.
So yes, I started making my own French patisserie. I do the Paris Brest. So for now we have 3 flavors: vanilla and strawberry, chocolate and blackberries,
Ooh.
and the praline. I use vanilla from Madagascar, and the chocolate is a French luxurious chocolate called Valrhona.
Wow.
So I do these on Tuesdays and Fridays only. And people can actually purchase it from my website. It's in my bio. And it's called Donna's Wonders.
Beautiful. It is. It looks like a wonder itself. Like, you know, I can see that.
You know what I love about these is basically, or why did I introduce them? Not just because I wanted to create pastry, but I want to change the mindset of people about dessert. So many desserts out here, you find them are incredibly heavy. They're like a full meal on their own.
Yeah.
Dessert is supposed to be something light that you would enjoy after the meal, after your lunch, after your dinner.
Okay.
It's that refreshing aftertaste that you want to leave behind, you know, until your next meal.
Yes. Some of the desserts we eat get us lethargic enough that we just want to just go in a hibernation mode.
Yeah, yeah, that's not how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
So that's why I introduced these patisserie. They are very light in terms, like you see it as, it is a single serving. You see it like big and you see lots of cream, but it's actually very heavy. Like a kilo of cream would have only maybe 4 spoons of sugar. Yeah. The focus is more concentrated on the flavor itself than on sugar to mask the flavors, if you know what I mean.
I am trying to follow up, but it looks beautiful, man. The sound of it is like pretty much, I think we're trying to say, at least to me, what I'm trying to get here is that the texture itself, the content, the quality is so high, and you make sure that the texture is soft and light, like you said, to leave, you know, let's say to have a beautiful ending to your meal.
Exactly, exactly, yeah.
Wow.
And this is my childhood dessert.
Okay.
This is something very famous in Lebanon. We call it tarbouche. And some European countries, they actually have it. It's called tête au choco.
Ooh.
So it's basically, it has a biscuit base, meringue, and a chocolate cover on top. So
Beautiful.
I do dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and one with coconut.
I can hear right now the people behind the scenes calling which one they're gonna take. It's like calling dips. They're like, we're gonna take this one, that one. Hey, what? Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Well, you know, if we ran out, you can always order more from Donna's Wonders.
Do we have to reserve beforehand?
Yes, because we get sold out. Like every week I get sold out, sometimes like a day before.
Okay. A day before?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
We're happy
I'm
for
so happy with the response.
All right. Well, you know, all is going on. You have a lot going on in your life. You know, we're happy for that. The positivity is on. The vibes are great. So now, with all that's happening now, between being a food blogger and a teacher, and you have your translation company and pastry, so what is the future for you?
I just want to say, like, never say never. When I
Okay.
first started the Instagram account, people were like, oh, we hope you'll open your own restaurant and we can go and visit. And I would be like, that's a lot of work. Like, you have no idea how hard it is to open a place. From operation to marketing, like, it needs a team, an entire team. But now, actually, my dreams or my aspirations have changed. I hope one day we'll be able to open a small, quaint cafe for Donna's Wonders. Yeah, and I hope people of Bahrain will enjoy it.
Definitely. Well, looks amazing.
Thank
I'll
you.
be the first person waiting right there at the door of the cafe, and let's make it happen. Well, thank you so much. This
Thank
was inspirational, beautiful, and an eye-opener. At the same time, your journey is just a beautiful story that has been
Thank you
told.
so much. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Appreciate
Definitely.
it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was an inspirational talk taking place right there with Hello, Hello. It's Bahrain Foodie. Coming next, more happening here on Bahrain Now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be delving into a wonderland with Fatma Al-Hashimi, founder of Square People and self-taught artist. She found her creative art style when she decided to make her mother a personalized birthday, aiming to build a square community, as she likes to call it. So, ladies and gentlemen, with us here right now is Fatma. How are you?
Hello, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, tell us, how did you come across the square art?
Square art. I didn't know there was such a thing called square art. Maybe there were different art styles that I came across during my childhood, but Square People was a very good kind of accident. As you said, I wanted to make my mother a birthday card, and I'm used to making her something personalized every year. So you would see a full gallery of my artwork and things, just personalized gifts that I make my mom, and she would like put it around the living room for everyone to see that my kids meet these things. So 7 years ago, I decided, why not make something more personalized instead of the usual flowers and butterflies. I wanted something that says, okay, that represents my mom. So I asked her, Mama, what do you love? She's like, I love you. So I'm like, okay. And I decided that I'm going to draw myself and my siblings. And then I did a lot of research. I was watching The Man in the Iron Mask back then. So the Three Musketeers was just going on in my head. So I decided to make a card with the theme Three Musketeers. So it was me, my brother, and my sister in musketeer clothes, but I had my glasses on, my sister had her short hair, so yeah.
Wow, and just like that.
It was a process because creating takes a while. I mean, if I'm thinking about drawing someone, I have to draft it out first, think it out, maybe sleep on it, and then decide that, okay, this is my plan, I propose it, and then whatever they like, we take that direction.
Okay. So now, square art, putting all that together into one perception and perspective. So as you go further with this, have you seen that now all of a sudden, like you started somewhere, but now you can see that there is more to it?
There is. I mean, getting into the world of art, it's an ocean. Yani, the more I research, the more there's so much I could paint on. Like I would use this pillow to paint on.
It's a square.
It's squared, and not because it's just square. I could draw a square person on a circle pillow. I would do that. So I'm always out in the market. I'm always looking for things to paint on because that's what excites me. Knowing that the world is my canvas, as cheesy as it sounds. So I can just walk around with my paintbrush and paint it red.
I think we need to get you a free wall right here, this TV studio.
That would be great. That's the dream. My dream is to paint on a mural, and I'm yet to fulfill that dream. So you'll make me a very happy person.
Graffiti art with the brushes?
No, I've never done graffiti, but I'm willing to explore that field.
Okay. Now the question is, why a square and not like a pentagon or a disfigured rectangle?
Okay, so I'll just tell you the story, the whole process of how it started with my mom's card. So when I was thinking of doing the Three Musketeers, I was like, okay, I had a paper and I wanted to draft out the whole thing. So I drew 3 squares, And then I put eyes, and then I put a mouth, and then I was like, oh, it doesn't look bad. So, and they just added a body to them, and I added their features, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't look bad.
Okay.
So when I gave my mom the card, my mom was like, why square? I'm like, that's the point. It's supposed to be square. So, and then that was it. Like, no one spoke of square people or anything. I didn't even have square people back then. So a few days like down the week, I'd find myself just sketching people with square faces. Like at work, you'd doodle sometimes, or at home, you'd talk on the phone and you're just doodling. So it's always square people. There's always a square face there. So then people started familiarizing square drawings with me.
Okay.
Like people at work would be like, oh, this reminded me of you, or I saw this drawing and it reminded me of you. So that brought up the idea of, okay, I think I am onto something here.
Definitely.
So yeah, so I just decided to go ahead with the hunch, and I let my creative juices flowing. I would draw on anything. It was recycled items in the beginning. Like, for example, at work, I'd order from a coffee place and I'd get the sleeve and just draw on it, or use it as a prop. Like, I draw a square person, and then that sleeve is their skirt, or that sleeve is their dress. So it was how the creative process started with square people.
You know,
very random.
No, but not only that, I mean, it's like, so I told my son just 2 days ago when I got to know that I'm gonna meet the artist behind the square art, and we look at the Instagram. It's like, so it's just like SpongeBob SquarePants, right? And I'm like,
no. But yeah, kind of within the same universe, you can say.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Now, with all that being said, now I get to see there is Bara. There's a square Bara and square Walid.
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh, wow. Oh, it looks even better than the real one, huh? I don't know about Walid. I mean, I'll leave that for him to comment.
I did not say anything.
So how long it took you to
Okay.
get one square art done?
See, it depends on the medium used. For example, if you would notice, Walid's drawing is actually on a paper that's stuck into the wooden piece, but yours is actually painted on the wooden piece. So this took around, the entire thing took around an hour.
Okay.
But yours took around, I'm not going to say the entire process took 2 days non-stop,
Right.
but it was a process of layering the paint and then layering again. So that took around 2 days.
Walid looks like definitely a news anchor right now. He looks super cool. I look like, okay, anyways.
I actually like them.
No, I like me too.
I'm pumping myself, but I like them.
Preference?
I'm very proud of the final outcome.
Wow. So it seems that you find enjoyment in actually finding, you go around finding the right material and the colors and all that. So does that sometimes becomes of a challenge if you can't find what you need to create your art?
It's always a challenge with art because you are trying to bring or create something out of nothing. So it's always been a challenge, but for me, I've never seen it as a challenge, more of an excitement. So, for example, I envision a painting or envision like a square person wearing a certain color, and I don't have that color. So I'd be like, yes, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go art shopping.
All right.
So yes, that always keeps me excited. It always keeps me like on the edge of my seat. That this is what I'm about to do next. So I'm always excited to do the next project or the next to embark on the next journey, because it is a journey.
I just can't stop looking at this. And I noticed, you had the silver lining and all that. That is very creative.
Yeah.
And
that was actually fun.
You're an artist.
Thank you so much.
Definitely, you're an artist.
Thank you so much.
Love this. So now, what is the future of the square community with Fatma Al-Hashimi?
The square community, the future is I want to bring more people into the square community, as in square-ify more people. To be honest, I want square people to be like a collector's item, something people would say, oh, I have a square people piece, or I have a square people painting. That would be something within the lines of the future for me.
Okay. This is gonna go international. You never know, right?
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Beautiful, beautiful. Any last
you.
words to your viewers?
I would just say, as I told you, Square People was a very whimsical idea. It came out of the blue, so I acted up on it because it was something that excited me. So always find something that excites you and just act upon it, because you might be sitting on your next big thing or your brand image or something that defines you. So that's why.
Amazing, amazing.
Thank
Well,
you so
Fatima,
much.
thank you for your
Thank you
passion
so much.
and making the world a more beautiful place.
Thank you so much for having me.
Definitely, it's a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Definitely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the wonder of the Square community as we saw it with Fatima Hashmi right here on Bahrain Now with Fatima. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of tonight's episode, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, featuring our inspiring guests and all that took place in the episode. Don't forget to reach us out on our social media accounts shown below for more information and updates. I'm your host, Bara Abdallah, and for now, goodbye and God bless.